everybody. Hi. For whatever reason, my it's not letting me add my overlays. So, nope. That's gonna be a problem. Or we'll just talk about them. I think I can do them a different way. But anyway, how are you? What's your deal? Where are you coming from? I see a bunch of friends. Alden, he was here early. Alden, thank you, man. Welcome home, thank you. Got home from North Carolina. I guess it was about a week ago now. No? When did I go? I guess I did a live show. Yeah, I did a live show last Friday. So anyway, yeah, got to be in Southern Pines. Hello, Alan from Scotland. Hello. Hey, there's a new addition here. You can see how loud I am. Hey! 94. Was that loud for you? There's a compressor. It probably should have been the same volume. How loud was that? I'm sorry if you're wearing headphones. I did not think about that for a moment. But let me know if I hit 80. Oh, 79.5. Hey! There it is, 85. This is so easy. Jerry, coming in from Southern Pines, North Carolina. Hello, glad you're here. Howdy from the NC Triad. That's awesome. Hello, everyone from Philly. Mr. Daniel here. Daniel is here. Hello from sunny Arizona. Hello from morning from California. Hello, everybody. Clemson, South Carolina, bound. Oh, wait. Howdy, everybody. From Cleveland, South Carolina, bound in the morning. That's awesome. Hello from Arkansas. Hello from the east side of Philly in Jersey. Heyo. Hello from Holland. So exciting. This is so cool. Greetings from the Great White North in Pennsylvania. Afternoon, bro. Kelly, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. New Brunswick, Canada. Heyo. Hello from Florida. Love Jersey and Philly. Big Gaslight Anthem. Oh, dude, freaking Dave House. Big fan. Big fan. I love Dave House. I saw him play with, what was that band? The Poundin' Nails, Louisiana. They're pounding nails. Dude, so good. Pounding nails, Louisiana, down in Biloxi and Alabama. Pounding nails, Louisiana, pounding nails. You can wave your guns. If you don't know, Dave House is like a fun, like, yeah, that beautiful style of like punky kind of singer-songwriter, like fun singer. Volume is fine, good. So I can yell and I can get as loud as I need to be. Let's see, love your channel. Just got a 3-year-old Ferg vintage 3 OM at a steel of a beautiful instrument. At a steel, what a beautiful instrument, man. Good work. My vintage 2 is right there, man. Those are so good. I bet hanging with Baxter and Jonathan was a blast. It was. Those dudes are fun. And we've hung around enough now. That's probably the 5th or 6th time we've hung out in person. So it worked out. Raymond! Mr. Chewbacca. Glad you're here, buddy. What are you doing? Where you been? Hello from South Korea. What the heck? That's so cool. Houstonville, Kentucky. Dang, Carolina's in the house today. It's true. Lots of Carolina, lots of Pennsylvania. Last week it was like everybody was like Philly, Scranton, other places, Altoona. Hello from Spain. I'm very opinionated about acoustic steel strings myself. Okay, let's talk about it. So, I'm going to keep running through. Andy's here. Andy Perez. Hey, buddy. Glad you're here. Hello from Iowa. Let's see. Hey. Eric Warrington is here from upstate New York in the Adirondack Mountains. Hey, buddy. Glad you're here. The Loved Ones. Yeah, that's who I was playing. Dude, I love it. Jeremy, do any of your guitars have an 1 11/16 nut width? I thought the one that did doesn't. I measured it. Let's see. My Boxwood I thought had an 1 11/16, but it's an 1 3/4. Probably wider than an 1 3/4. 1 3/4 here. 3/4, 3/4. Oh, hang on. Let me measure. Oh boy. This is the real test. $8,000 guitars. Just clowning them. Okay, let me grab my caliper over here. Uh-oh. Where'd you go? What the what? Am I losing my mind? Oh, hang on, I just put it under stuff. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. This is my country western. I believe that at this point this is now referred to as this is now Bernie, according to Baxter. So, country western, let's see what the nut width. All right, in inches. There it is. See that? 1.67, so that's inch and 11/16. Inch and 43/64, technically. But yeah, so this is my only guitar that has that nut width. No, I mean, like, unless you get, like, I have a Ferk, I have a little Ferker, that, yeah. So anyway, we did it. A crunchy western. This guitar went through the, came from the house yesterday in the warm air. Ah, I have no place to put this now. I have too many guitars. I filmed a video this week that I think y'all are gonna like, called Enough. Just about, like, am I good enough to own a guitar? What is enough guitars? I think there were 3 or 4 layers of enough. So anyway, so Bernie sheep, yeah. I think it's Bernie because it's Bernie Mac, where he says, like, it's a dirty, like, Bernie Mac was like a dirty comic with a long, you know, story. So, too many guitars, blasphemy. No, I definitely have too many guitars. Yesterday I filmed the video. I think I'm like 23 to 25, and that's not even counting. That's like guitars that I would say are mine. Like, I own them, not necessarily saying the ones, because there's still probably another 5 to 7 that are hiding in cases over here. Hey, Greg McFadden. Cheers, Jeremy and the gang from Branson. Hey, oh, that's awesome. Greg, I feel like we met somewhere. Your name sounds really familiar. Today I learned a country western is an inch 11/16 nut. Well, it's just the old ones. Lots of Gibsons and Martins in the... Hang on, this is one of those trivia things. Martin moved away from inch and 3/4, maybe in the 40s or 50s. And then for a while they were narrow until, like, 2011. Like, there was a long stretch that they were inch and 11/16. Not all, but some, most. Anyway, Joe! Hey-o! I play that trip a lot. Any Larrivee in my collection? No. I gave away my great... Oh, hey. Ryan Doval, you need to... Hey, Ryan, also, I have a thing for you I've been trying to give you for months. Quit avoiding me. This is yours. It's a little care package. I don't care. I'm not giving it to somebody else. I'm giving it to you. But, Ryan, let's see. Can I do this? This is a... Hang on, I gotta do some sorcery for 1 second. Now I gotta turn on my monitor so I can hear it. Hang on, sorry, this is not exciting. Okay. Playing is just then. Oh boy. This is a 61 American Vintage 2 61 Strat that I got from Hometown Music, and I just bought it. I very rarely impulsively buy guitars. This one showed up, and I loved it, and I wanted it, and I just spent a couple days with the dudes at Casino Guitars, and they were trying to talk me into a custom shop, so I saved $2,000 by not buying one of theirs and buying this. So that's not true, but anyway, yes, it's very cool. So it's a 61 reissue, and it has this little ashtray, one of these cute little ashtray covers. So go on there. But anyway, so this video, no, it did not come from Casino. It came from Hometown Music, the shop I work at a couple days a week. But Baxter and John are a little pissed. No, I'm definitely, like, Baxter and I've been texting. I'm looking for a shell pink Strat. This Strat's not going to be with me for that long. And I can't quite explain the details. But anyway, that one is for a purpose. And then it will go away. Plenty of people... Oh, I missed it. Anyway, yeah, so I'm doing a thing today I don't normally do. Let me see if it will... I don't know why it wouldn't let me add backgrounds. Okay. I don't know. Ah, it's a bummer. So I did have these good looking... Let's see. Okay, it must be some part of their plugin, just isn't working. So, okay, I'm doing a thing I've not done before, and with this, we're gonna do, like, these are my hot takes. Kind of hot takes. These are, I'll just do them one by one. So my wife helped me compile this list. These are my snobbiest things. I said there's 10. There's probably more than 10. I didn't count. I just kind of wrote them, and I just kind of worked through what I'm thinking and feeling here. I've been in the guitar space for a long time. Overall, I'm not a particular... Do I have the self-awareness to know if I actually was? I'm going to say I'm not actually that snobby of a guitar player. I don't have that strong of opinions, but I do have these things clanking around that I really think, and if I got pressed, like, I can find a place to say that these are good things, but these are just my general takes. So, some of the bougie things that I do is I change my strings almost every week, and I own an obscene amount of guitar, so a huge amount of my time and energy goes to changing strings all the time. So like I said, my wife worked through this list with me, and she's like, it's one of the things that stuck out to her. She's like, how in the world do you change your strings all the time? And I still use coated strings, but man, it's a big thing. So if I go to play guitar somewhere and the strings are super dead, I'm gonna think something. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'll probably think something about it. So that's one of my yeah. We'll see if these resonate. My concern, or my angle, is that I don't want to offend anyone per se. I'm okay ruffling some feathers and standing for the things I care about. But most of this is opinion. So anyway, don't get offended. And if you get offended, let's fight. Next one, I pretty much have a guitar in every room. Oh, I can turn these off. Okay, I'll do them that way. You can see those titles better. As I've gotten more guitars, one is just a literal, like, practical. I have 21 instruments in here, and then I still have 7 or 8 guitar hangers in my house. So one of the bougie things that I do is that yeah, I have guitars in every room, and when people are hanging out, it's not an unusual thing for me to just, like, play guitar. Yeah, if people come over, if we're watching, if we're, you know, eating pizza, hanging out, if kids are playing, I'm just gonna grab a guitar and sit around and play and kind of make a soundtrack for the room. And yeah, not being douchey, but being a little bougie, because I love guitars, and those are places of honor in my mind. That's the other, like, snobby thing I do. I have certain guitar hooks that I only put my best and coolest and most special guitars. So the ones in the house have either this triple O right here that Rasmus built, who's in the chat, Rasmus Zandelay. Probably butchered the pronunciation of your name, but Rasmus's triple O is in there quite often. My Paget is in the house now in one of those spots. Oh, what was that? Why'd you do that? But yeah, I have a guitar in every room. That's another bougie thing that I do. Oh, here's one. This one I take some heat for. I don't know if it's cool, but I have long fingernails that I keep for playing guitar, which that doesn't make many friends, but I also, this is the one no one is excited about. Let's see. Come on, focus. You can do it. I keep an acrylic nail on my thumb. This is actually a pretty new thing for me. Hang on. Camera might turn off for just a second. Hang on. Don't freak out. There we go. We're back. Okay. So, one of the things I do is that I keep an acrylic thumbnail. And this is one that yeah, it's just a thing that it works well for me. Because when I'm making these videos all the time, that's the big thing, is like, if I was just playing guitar for myself and I broke my thumbnail and I didn't have a thumbnail for a month or 6 weeks, which is how long it takes to grow back usually, wouldn't be the end of the world. But this one makes no friends. This one still gets people like freaking out at the grocery store. Like, it's still not an unusual occurrence for me to like grab something, go pay for something, and for people to see my thumbnail. Ugh, what is that? Zone Fleet? You never told me that. I'm an idiot. Zone Fleet? Is that true? That's one of the reasons I took the strings. That is hilarious. That is so funny. Yeah, so Rasmus sent me his guitar. Yeah, sent me a guitar, and he it didn't have any strings on it, which I thought was funny. And then it's because he knows that I'm... Yeah, a house is naked without a guitar in every room. You get it. Sheesh, you get it. Ryan, 2-year-old strings on the telly and counting. Gross. Dead strings on a used guitar at a shop kills me. Amen, brother. Yeah. It is the strings or the guitar sounding... Is it the strings or the guitar sounding like that? Okay, but yeah. Because I'm at a place where I'm like, I don't prefer it. To me, it says things about, like, a lot of people played this, or the shop isn't paying attention to it, they haven't fixed it, or whatever. But it ends up being, you gotta fix it. But if you do it enough, you can get to where, like, I can hear a D18 through dead strings. Like, I know what it'll sound like. Yeah. You leave strings on for years, decades. I like the softer sound. Just play different strings, man. Okay. This whole time, you've let me say it for years. No, this is not your fault. This is 100% my fault. Zone Fleet. There we go. Zend Fleet. Sorry, bud. All right. I'll do better. I'll be better. Jeremy, I bought a beautiful Maryland-made PRS Angelus from a gentleman in the Shenandoah Valley a few months ago. It's a beautiful curly mahogany. What? That's beautiful, man. Good work. Hey-o, Tom Hampton is enjoying the show in the midst of a snowstorm in Michigan. My father-in-law is up north, not in Michigan, but yeah, they're getting snow, bunch of snow right now. So that's exciting. Glad you're here. All right, let us keep cruising. What are other things? So acrylic nails don't make friends. Another thing is on basically every vacation, I'm going to bring a guitar. It's coming. We just have to pack for it. My wife now knows. It's like one of the things. Like if we have a car, and that's why I've started bringing the Ferk with me, because it is like the size of a backpack. But that's a bougie thing that I do. Like guitars come with me. Like I'm not myself. I'm also not relaxed if I'm not playing guitar. That's not true. But like one of the best ways for me to relax is to play guitar. So for me, if I'm going to the beach, I'm like, I'm going to get up before kids get up. I'm going to drink coffee. I'm going to sit on the porch. I'm going to read. I'm going to pray a little bit. And I'm going to play guitar. And that's going to be like how I watch the sun come up or how I start my day is just making music. And then, you know, while making breakfast, yada, yada, yada. Playing guitars, that's a bougie thing. But, man, it is, yeah, it's the best. All right, here's another one. You might be a guitar snob if you have hygrometers in every room in your house. I don't have them in every room, but I know I have 4 in this room because this room has 4 microclimates. That's such a pretentious thing to say. That was the original title of this video. It was like my most pretentious guitar opinions. Yeah, anyway. But I have 4 hygrometers in this room because all 4 walls seem to be different temperatures and, you know, humidities. And it gets really humid in the back, like on the back wall. Don't know why. So I just have to consider that. And I aim the dry AC to blow that way. And then I have a humidifier at the other end so that it like swirls the humidified air around. Not a whole lot. Don't freak out again about the acoustic guitars on the back wall. It's like 5% higher back there. Also, those little things have a 5% margin of error. So who knows? What is reality? What? Topher? What are your thoughts on detuning a guitar when not in use to reduce pressure on the bridge? Good idea or snobby nonsense? Snobby nonsense. I will say, cracks in guitars don't sneak up on you, but it's really easy for those things to happen if you're not looking at your guitars, playing your guitars often. And so if you're not playing them, looking at them, seeing them out and about in a room, in a humidified environment that you know all of the what to expect for the humidity and the temperature, yeah, then things can sneak up on you. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Thank you for the super chat. Those are super easy to see, and yeah. Let's see. Shovel says, "I'm so glad my guitars sound better with the older strings." It is true. I mean, some strings I put on there definitely to die, and these were the strings doomed to die. I think nickel bronze is a great. That kind of string is made to really die. Now there are certain strings that just they don't die gracefully. Some hang out for so long and then just careen off the cliff, like the D'Addario XS. Man, those strings. But yeah. There you go. Yeah, sounds like an ideal vacation. Coffee, porch, sunrise, prayer, and a guitar for sure. Yeah. I keep several guitars on hand to give to people who want to start learning. I have the means, which makes me feel good. That's so good. I've started doing the same thing. I've given away a lot of instruments in the last 6 months. I don't make a big deal. I don't really tell people I'm doing it, but I'll tell you guys. Because I have a lot of stuff. I have too much stuff. And I don't need, I had a pretty good hand the last couple of years. So, so Bougie, if you have hygrometers in each room, here's one this is where I get to show that I really am kind of a lunatic. I won't play a guitar in a room that has a ceiling fan that's turned on. You ever done it? This is a video idea I've wanted to do for 5 or 6 years to show how much different a guitar sounds in a room with a ceiling fan on, especially, obviously, an acoustic guitar. But it's wild. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't really hear it, but it modulates the tone just a little bit. And it makes it to where it's really not fun to do. So, I'm Bougie. I have a room that we've spent a bunch of money treating and making sure it sounds great and wonderful, like a good acoustic guitar room should. And yeah, are you with me on this one? What are your thoughts on dating? Snobs are called knobheads in our parts of the UK. Knobheads. That's funny. I saw that too. I googled like snobby opinions, and there were lots of people with opinions about using the word snob. There are lots of people with lots of opinions on lots of words these days, and I don't mean anything more than what I'm actually saying. But it's just a funny. Anyway. Hey-oh! Yeah, I hate ceiling fans. Nothing sounds in tune. Exactly. It's crazy. Like, you'll have a tuner on the guitar. Also, snobby opinion I didn't add. I don't like leaving a tuner. I don't like being snarked. I don't like a tuner on a guitar when you're not using it, other than the ones in the sound hall. But I don't even like these. Like a tuner like this. One of the headstock, one of the nicer D'Addario headstock tuners. I don't like leaving these on a guitar, even though it's just that little tab on the front of the headstock. It just looks messy to me. So, yep. Ceiling fans in my guitar room. The ceiling fan has been on in my guitar room, bedroom, since the day I walked into that room back in 2017. That's all the time? Forever? Gosh. Man, I am not a fan of... Yeah, that's fine. We have a ceiling fan in our room that has a noise, which used to drive me crazy, but now it's hard to sleep without the noise. Anyway, and you were judging me the whole time. Yeah, I'd judge you for other things too. No, yeah, we're doing something different. Yep, there you go. Ain't that the truth? Patrick says I don't like leaving a capo on when not in use. I pretty much have abandoned all Kaiser capos. I used to have a bunch, and they drive me crazy now. Ever since it left a mark on my 61 Gibson J50, I was like, you dumb thing. So I got rid of it. Now, instead, I just deal with the little nicks that come, the little dings on the side of the headstock that come from Page capos. There is no perfect capo. There's almost no perfect anything. That's an existential comment. What are your thoughts on fine-tuning the guitar? Sometimes you take more time to tune than play. Oh, gosh. Or, like, sweetened tuning. Sweetened tuning is so pretentious to me. It's like, I tune my guitar to standard, and then I play an E chord, and then I adjust by 11 cents the G string. Gosh. Yep. Impressions on the Nitro? Yep. That's where I am too. I keep a boutique capo in every case, and and a jar of Grey Poupon. I do too, you know. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move into some. All right, here's one that I'll do until I die, and if people don't do it, they're dumb and wrong and know nothing. You know nothing of nice things. If you don't. Do the luthier's knot. I will die on this hill. It is the right way to do it. It is a gentlemanly thing to do. And if you complain about it, do you complain about having to tie a double Windsor? Like when people only tie a single Windsor just because it's easier, it is so lazy. There are things that matter. There are things that you need to put energy and effort into. Order and organization in the world matters. There is decency to believe in. And without these things, we're nothing more than animals. That was more of a rant than I thought. Luthier's knots, if you don't know, this is where you take the string through a guitar, you bring the excess of the string back around underneath, and then you fold it over. Rhett Scholl made a video talking about it, and he's wrong. And I've said it to his face. And the luthier's knot, this is not necessarily about tuning stability. It is about a little flourish, a little thing that you get to do when you put on strings on a guitar that does make it. There is a component. It does work better at staying in tune, but it also is just the proper way to do it. It is just a small little thing that if you enjoy putting strings on a guitar, then you should do it. Another one, and people should learn this, is how to hand tie classical strings on a bridge. This is one of the most satisfying guitar tasks that I get to do. It is genuinely one of my favorite things. Like, come on. I mean, look at this. Like, tying those so that they're so crispy and perfect and that they're not slipping, they're all symmetrical. Man, come on. Come on. So, yeah, there's a better rant than I thought I had in me. The luthier's knot till I die. Never heard of the luthier's knot? Come on, man. I bet you have. You just didn't know it. I didn't know it was called that for a long time. Yeah. Let's see. Enters Morgan Crom, agent of chaos. What did Morgan say? Morgan, are you here? Our OCD's a line. It's true. It's just, I mean, it does feel like there's an element of like, there are many things that you do in life that are not efficient. I think efficient is an obnoxious way to live life, to have efficiency as your number one thing. I think there are times you need to do things exceptionally. Anyway, yeah, yep. Heyo, Prayuda says luthier's knot is so helpful when stringing the high E. Yeah, the plain strings in particular really slip if you don't. Now there's strings and guitars obviously that you don't do the luthier's knot on, but anyway, yep. So it's a big one. All right, so now we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna get into anyway. I'm not giving any more preambles to my comments. Just gonna say them, like this one. Martin guitars are almost always better. Yeah, Martin guitars are almost always better. There are definitely some Martin guitars that are not. There's an asterisk to this for sure. But the D18 is basically a perfect guitar. The 00018 is an exceptional guitar. The OM21 is like the most sleeper, perfect kind of guitar. The OM28 is magical. The D41, the OM42. There are so many killers, especially when you get into the standard series. But I will also say I didn't say this in these words in my titles, but I'll say it. To me, like real Martins start. Real Martins start at the 18. Like a D17S, DSS17, not really a real Martin. Like made in the U.S., all solid wood, got it. The 00015M, I'd call that a real Martin. But if I'm in my bougie mind, I think a lot of times a lot of people buy the X series because it says Martin on the headstock. But it's made in Mexico. It's Formica back and sides. Might have a solid top. Has a barf Fishman pickup. Gross. So yeah. So anyway, Martin guitars are almost always better. Let's see. Oh, Tom. Yeah, Tom, man. Yeah, I'm glad you saw that. I'm glad you liked that. That was a fun one. Jeremy, are you okay with satin finishes? No, I wouldn't own. I don't think I'd own a guitar with a satin finish. The last one I did own was a Guild M20, but it has the same problem they all have. Which, okay, almost everybody loves very new, crispy, clean-looking guitars. A lot of people like really worn-out guitars, like relict or like worn-in. Very few people like a guitar that has a shiny patch from an arm from one person playing, and the guitar is like 5 to 7 years old. Like, most people just, it's not new enough, it's not old enough, it's not clean enough, it's not worn out enough. So it's just such a long time before they get cool. And so that's where like the D15, the D17, a lot of those, and even the D10, like, yeah, all of those. Trouble, problems. But they're magical guitars. I think the modern 00015s, the M versions are so freaking good. I played a couple at Casino last week. So good. Huston Dalton has entered the chat. Let's see. Do I have a favorite capo? I do. I think the Page capo is basically perfect. I've owned a couple Elliott capos if they're really expensive ones, but to me, I think the Page capo, particularly the nickel, is great. Now, this is one of the ones that every now and then I get to like just. Anyway, I'll brag. This is a day kind of bragging a little bit. I met with the couple that runs Page Capos, and they said, "Would you change anything on our capos?" And I was like, "Yes." It used to be heat shrunk with felt, and on the back of the capo, and then all of a sudden it was just double-sided tape with felt, and it always comes off. And so they said, we are so sorry. And they have now, since 2022, all of the new Page capos. I have a Page Pro up here. Yeah. So since then, little old Jeremy had an influence on, actually not that big of a company of Page, but now they have heat shrink on the brace that goes on the back of the guitar. And so, because mine, this was kind of funny, mine, I didn't have any felt, so I ended up just putting some, come on, focus. You can see it has, mine has like the loop side of Velcro on it. Not great, hasn't messed up a guitar yet, but I also don't use it on that many guitars. But, Pine Top, hey buddy. 15 SM, magical, great guitar. 15 and old 17s, yep. So 16 series, yes, a real Martin. 15, no, not a real Martin, but yes, 18 and up. Interesting. Yeah, so Ryan says real Martins are 18s and up. I would make a couple caveats. A 15 is definitely a real Martin, because it's a 15 is more of a Martin than a 17 for sure. Until they bring back the 17 series as it existed for 100 years. Gosh, don't want to get banned by Martin again, but that killed me. Still does. Bothers me. Bothers me to my core. But then Taylor is Lunatics too. Taylor just changed the 7 series to now being Koa. Gosh, not even, yeah. Anyway. D18 is the perfect guitar. Pretty much. I mean, you would say most people have said so. 00018 is magical. HG28 is a bit more perfect with that scallop bracing, Daniel says. Question. Ever buy a new Martin and notice the sound blooms over time? Absolutely. My D15 sounded really, really good for 5 years that I owned it. And then I let a friend borrow it when I was living in Louisiana. He had a magical Myrtle Wood original Breedlove from the early 2000s. So he and I traded for several months. He had my D35, I had his Breedlove. And when I got it back, and he's like, hey man, this thing sounds better every couple days that I play it. And it just opened up and bloomed and became like magical. So anyway, very cool, very cool. All right, so many comments, I can't keep up. Do you have a favorite Japanese guitar, Yari or Tama? I really like Yagiri's. That's a guitar I'd probably own. I could talk myself into it. They're very, very clear and bright. Yeah, they're cool guitars. I especially like the bridge. All right. Martin guitars are almost always better. That's one of my, and that's not a surprise. But let's continue going on my most pretentious opinions. While talking about Martins, let's talk about Taylors and the fact that this is the truth. Taylors begin at the 3 series and up. Like, a caveat, an asterisk. The GS Mini is pretty great. It's an excellent guitar. Who am I kidding? That's the best small guitar other than the Ferk Little Jane. Ferk Little Jane is just a little too expensive to really kind of combat against like the $800. The GS Mini Koa is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It has gotten so many young players into playing guitar. It's a pretty perfect little guitar. They don't have much bass. They don't have much resonance. Yada, yada, yada. The ES pickup kind of sucks. It's very honky sounding. But to me, Taylor's at the 3 series, something magical starts to happen with these guitars. And they really open up and they really sound articulate and a little more sonorous. They never are bassy or boomy, but that's just, you're barking up the wrong tree. That's not how they build guitars. That's not what they're aiming after. They're aiming after clarity and projection. So like, that's what they're going for. And yeah, so Taylor guitars, for me, the real ones kind of started the 3 series, which the 3 series has gotten quite expensive. I think most of the guitars that I don't think are worth it are the 2 series, particularly the 214 Deluxe. It's so expensive. You're paying for a pretty guitar that is laminate back and sides and is pretty shrill, just lacks a lot of character and low end. It's just, you know, but the 3 Series, the 4 Series, especially if you can find used cool ones, man, oh man. You can find cool old 3, like what I had one a couple years ago on the channel, a 312 that I paid $600 for or something insane. And yeah. So Tom had a 214 Koa, played it out twice and sold it. Yeah, fun guitar, cool guitar, but really bright. So yeah. Taylor's just sound too bright to me, to be honest. Decent mid and strong treble, but I always find bass lacking. Yep. That's why I think you're just kind of barking up the wrong tree. Jeremy, if you had a choice, would you get a Gibson J200 or a new Martin D41? D41 in a heartbeat. I would also get the amber tone finish on it. That guitar is like, it will be mine. That's one of those that I really, 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 really want. They're just so magical and great looking. J200s, that's a big guitar. I'm not that big of a guy. I'm like 5'9". And so for me, it's just, I look like a little kid playing a guitar that big. I would get a J185. Daniel just ordered one. It's being built by Nathan Wright. It should be here before too long. And super, super cool. Whoa, hang on. My GS Mini needed a neck reset after 3 years or so. Okay, that sounds more dramatic than it probably was, unless you got... How much did they charge you to fix it? You can shim one of those necks in 10 minutes. Like, you can literally, like, take the strings off, take the neck off, and, yeah. So, what do I think of Maton guitars? They're fine. I wouldn't buy one. They sound amazing plugged in, but they're just not... They're heavy. I've played a bunch of them. They're heavy. They're just... They have many solutions to guitar things that presume problems I don't have. I don't know how to say it. Like, they have weird solutions to problems that other builders have figured out more easily. Can't afford an 18 or a 28, but I love my DR10. To me, it's all Martin. Elixir 12s help a lot over the Retro 13s. Interesting. Elixir 12's probably, yeah, that's a really bright string. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to denigrate or to like poo-poo Martin. My first Martin was a D15, and I loved it. I worked so hard. I mowed every yard in my neighborhood multiple times. Hi, Mr. Laspina, can I cut your grass again? Like, you just cut it 3 days ago, but it rained. So, yeah, man. Ooh. I did this live comparison between my D41 and a J200 Classic Western. Ooh. And the D41 murdered it. That's interesting. Brandon had a Taylor 210E Deluxe that was a fantastic plugged-in guitar. Had the expression system as well. Insane value for less than $900. Yeah, that's a great deal. $900. That's a great guitar. I think new, those are like, what, $1,600, $1,500? That's just, can't get into it. OM21 used can sometimes find those for good deals. Yeah, the regular OM21s. The OM21 Special has a cult following that no one will sell one for less than $3,000. Ferk Vintage or Martin OM28. I mean, it depends what you would do. Or like, you can make a case for both. My Ferk Vintage 2 OM, they call it vintage. It is a very modern guitar in its feel and its tone, but it's still excellent. But a Martin still has more low end, more bass. It's not as like effervescent is the word that I would use for those. All right, I gotta jump back over here and continue poking people with my opinions. So Taylor 3 Series, to me, I still think like a cedar top Koa back or cedar top rosewood back and sides is a pretty excellent one. Do I mention this? Okay, I don't exactly know how to talk about this one. Carvin guitars. I don't want... Okay, my original thought for this is like Carvin guitars are the unofficial guitar of like home studio nerdy dads. The guys that like have a stereo rig with an old, a Music Man on one side and an old Trainer amp on the other. And then they're going to tell you about how, like, they're off the grid, they're using cool stuff. Leo Fender's best stuff he ever made was actually with G&L and Music Man. And before, whatever the company shut him down. Like, that, like, almost conspiracy theory. So for me, like, Carvin guitars, they have no value secondhand. Like, oh, they bum me out. I've had to sell, so I've had to sell several bigger estates of guitars in my life, and both of them had lots of Carvins, and Carvins just did not hold their value, they didn't take care of, they didn't hold the value that the spouses needed them to hold. So, yeah. Yeah. Yes, our first album was home studio, played all Carvin guitars, 2006. Of course you did. They're fine. Like, they saw, like, how is the entire industry working? Well, let's do the opposite thing. Let's make guitars that we don't make twice. Let's sell them direct through mail order and catalogs. Let's not have dealers. And so, okay, because most guitar companies, they have to build in, like, 30 to 50% margin is what they are making. Well, 30 to 50% margin of whatever a customer pays. They would give to a dealer, and then they would keep that other, whatever that math works out to. But yeah. Well, yeah, so Carvin changed their name, or Carvin changing their name was an odd move, in my opinion. They do make quality and interesting electrics. They're interesting. Changing their name was probably a good choice, I think, because they were so stuck in, like, 90s mail order. 90s mail order. Yeah. The buyers of those, they've all convinced themselves that there is a quality component, and maybe they're getting it. Like, Orangewood is doing a very, very similar thing for acoustic guitars. They are, well, just as far as pricing and sales, you get value because you're cutting out dealers. Like, so that 35% isn't going to the dealer, so they're still making the same amount as the shop or the manufacturer, compared to, they're not giving it to a dealer, and they're giving it to their customer. With that said, they have to do all their own customer service. They have to do all of their own work on it. So Carvin had a Tweed 212 amp for a long time. Got rid of a Fender Blackface Fiber champ to get it, and I kick myself frequently for doing so. Yeah, it's the same crew that are really into Eastman guitars. Like, it's a very similar appeal. Great quality. You're not paying for a big name. You can just look at the specs. Don't think about the thing as a total. Think about they're looking for people that are going to add up the sum of all the parts. And they're going to hope that people would just be like, whoa, that's crazy. When what they're not seeing is, like, overall, the value of that thing is less than the sum of its parts for a bunch of reasons. What strings for the Ferk Vintage 2 or Vintage OM to level the vintage to modern tone? Put, like, something really bright. Diodario XS have been really good. If you want something more chill, what do I have on there now? I have XS on there now. I put some Martin Lifespans on there. Those were good. They were pretty chill. Yeah. I had one a little bit ago. I had one of the prototypes. Didn't get to keep it. They just paid me to make a video. And it's really fun. Most guitars you could convert to a rubber bridge. That's the big, like, you don't necessarily need to buy one. Why are Callings so expensive? What difference do they have compared to other manufacturers? They are the freaking best. They make better Martin style guitars than Martin ever has, even the custom shop. They use remarkably good materials. They've been played by really, really famous people. They were one of the first boutique acoustic guitar brands to really blow up, like, in the 80s and 90s. Bill Collins has just a legend, and he is just this master builder, and he passed away, leaving a legacy that then skyrocketed the value of his guitars. So yeah, Collings are, yeah, that's some of the reasons why they are so expensive. Eastmans are solid. As a guitar teacher, I'm amazed by how good a sub $500 guitar can be when students purchase them. It's true. The PCH, the E1s, all really good guitars. They're pretty stodgy. Is that the right word? Like, they're stuffy. They're a little heavy. They're tight. They don't move much. Yeah. Diodario XS sound good with very light picks. Never like the tone with heavy picks. Interesting. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Crafter guitars are easy to play, and they're as cheap as chips. That's funny. Collings or Bourgeois? I would do Collings. Bourgeois makes a very different kind of guitar. They're aiming for just a really bright, really present, really clear tone, and that's not necessarily my style. Collings is my freaking jam. Yeah, so, all right, let me keep, I feel like I've got more spicy opinions to talk about. Here's one we talked about when we were talking about capos. Here's one of my bougie opinions. Kaiser capos pull guitars out of tune. I've stopped using them. They have two main problems, and it's crazy because they won my, when I did a capo shootout during 2020 or 2021. Such a hard video to film because I just went way overboard. I had 3 camera angles. One of the cameras didn't work. I had 2 microphones, all this stuff. I had a whiteboard behind me keeping track of data. None of it worked out. I mean, it was fine. It was fine. But the one that won that was, I think, Kaiser won, and then behind that was Page, or maybe Page won. But yeah, so for me, Page is a better tuner because it pulls like directly down on the strings. Now this is the Pro. This is the very expensive one, and so this one has 6 individual saddles that are in there, and so these each pull directly down, and they kind of cut the string and pull it straight down. But Kaiser capos pull too hard on the E and the A string, and then they give you too much gap, and they kind of buzz. Or if you get them on too straight, they just pull too hard in the center, and then yeah. So that's my opinion. If somebody lets me borrow one, yeah. In your opinion, are Collings the same quality since the passing of Bill? I think they've gotten better. I mean, they are remarkably good. Last Collings I played a Julian Lage at what's that guitar shop? It's the one that had the guy Jesse Artisan Guitars in Nashville. I played one a couple years ago. Remarkably good. So I'm definitely into that. Yeah. Will Bourne and Kennard make the best steel string acoustic on YouTube? I have no idea who that is. I've never even heard of them. What? Boo. No way. I disagree. G7s rock. No, G7s are like even worse than Kaiser for pulling stuff out of tune. They're so heavy. I have one. I really don't like it. I don't understand the appeal of them. Yeah, it's just one of my bougie opinions. Oh yeah, hey, that's one of the things I was gonna put on here that you just get this one for free. Do you think blue chips are worth the investment? No. Well, yes, sure, maybe. Hang on, no, they can't be. I said they were, but they're not. So, okay, here is a blue chip. This is a $35 or $30. This is a Chris Thiele. This one actually came from Tom, who's here. This one came with my mandolin, so I didn't actually pay for this one. And then this is a Prime Tone. This is one of the Prime Tone 1.5 mils. I cannot tell it. I can tell a huge difference between these picks and any other, any other kind of pick. I also have some Kaysen picks. This is from Charmed Life. I play this one pretty often. It's a cool pick. It's a lot brighter than these. These are like very warm, very true, very, punchy. And so anyway, I think I can absolutely make a case for blue chips until I know that Jim Dunlop has chopped down the price, and you can get them for like $4 or $5 a piece in the prime tone. So to me, I'm like, that's where I'm like, yep, that'd be a great thing. So, yeah, I've got one of those too. It's a great pickup, or a great capo. Big fan. Shub capo, because it's near invisible under stage lights. You are correct. Couch capos are fine around the campfire. Yeah, I mean, it's like straight up like the youth pastor guitar. But also, like, if you have time to tune between... I think that's where it really breaks down. If you have time to tune between songs, the Kaiser is fine. Because it's a good place. You can store it on the headstock. I used to think that looked cool. I don't think it looked cool anymore. But, you know, cool is a pretty moving target. But, yeah. Yep. Let's see. I'm an acoustic player with a K&K guitars into a PA. I recently joined a country rock band and cannot hear myself. Are you playing with a preamp? You need a preamp. I mean, the K&K preamp is awesome. It's tiny. I wish it had a 9-volt power adapter socket. It doesn't. Maybe you could convert one. I'm sure you could. I thought about this for a few weeks ago. Or get an LR Baggs Venue. That's kind of a pricey thing. The Para DI would also be great. But you need to really zhuzh up the signal of a K&K. I have one in my Country Western. I have one in my Paget. I have one in my Waterloo that I sold. Son of a gun. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. G7s are terrible. Prime tones aren't prime tones made by Dunlop? Yes, they are. Do you have an opinion on redwood top guitars? Not particularly. They sound great. They look really beautiful. The most recent one I had was a Santa Cruz Firefly. Oh, okay, this one's too spicy, I think. Or maybe I'll end with this one. Keep in mind I work for an Eastman dealer, but I think Eastman guitars are largely placeholders. This is similar to Carvin. People look at, oh, I can get East Indian Rosewood. I can get an Adirondack spruce top that is torrefied. I can get an ebony bridge and fingerboard. I can get a hard case for $14.99. But then you look at it and then you're like, well... So all the Eastmans, I have found some that I really, really like. I've not found any that I think are like unbelievably crazy deals. But I really like the one I liked most was one of John Chapman's. He had a prototype of a slope shoulder. It was a maple, basically a J35. That's the thing. Okay, that's what happens. When you're explaining an Eastman, you compare it to a Gibson or a Martin or a Taylor every time. And so almost always they are just like, well, it's like a J35. And I understand we probably do that with lots of guitar brands, but to me, I just, there's not a whole lot of secret sauce just to Eastman. Yeah. So, it bothers me. This is a hard one for me. Because I think most people that I have sold Eastmans to, not everybody, I don't want to be careful, like Kelly has a magical, super exciting one in here that he bought from me. But I've just found, like, over the last year, especially the electric guitars, because they are so hilariously close in name. Now, hang on, I should say I own an Eastman. There's an Eastman that I own, which I have found to be a really good guitar, and I like it. But that's what I'm saying, largely placeholders. Most of the ones that I've sold are like, oh, I want an E10 SS, which is their slope shoulder, sunburst, Gibson-y J45 thing. And they say, I want to own that guitar because I want a J45, and this thing is half the price, and look at the hard case that it comes in, and you can put a pickup in it. On stage, people wouldn't even know that this isn't a Gibson. This is the stuff that people say every time. So it bothers me. It's a bit of a bougie opinion for me that I just think that, I think sometimes it's worth just saving your money. Like, really save up and buy something. I think it's save up your money. Buy the thing that you want. Yeah. Okay, so hang on. Yeah, those days are still probably gone. I have a Thalia capo. It's fine. It's okay. I don't understand the hype of it. It's also really, really heavy. Someone sent it to me, and I just couldn't ever bring myself to, Yeah. $30 pick? I've got a bridge to sell you. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. So that's where, for me, like, prime tones, I'm like, $5, got it. $5 I can live with. Okay, so the Bougie Grand Reserve 161. Your review was excellent. Thank you. Did you ever end up buying one or plan to? I plan to buy one. I'm in the process. We're gonna start it. Actually, need to call those guys and see what we're gonna do. So basically, we're doing work together this year, and instead of them, anyway, we're working out a deal. So I'll still end up adding a chunk of money, but I'm gonna get something pretty similar to my Zonfleet, which is I'm going to end up getting a Studio Goose, no, a Heritage Goose, an HG56. So East Indian rosewood back and sides, Torrefied Adirondack spruce top. I might do a Sunburst. I think I want a Sunburst. Just a magical guitars. So I'm gonna turn that banner off. And comments. My D18 plays just like an Eastman. There you go. That's the right way. Yeah, just gotta go other way around. Alvarez Yagiri, huge fan. Really like those guitars. I've sold a bunch of them. I like the F shape better. The folk, or like they call it folk, but it's like an OM shape. They're really fun guitars. The bridges are amazing. It's quite difficult to put an LR Baggs Hi-Fi on that bridge with the insert. Very hard to do. Carbon fiber guitars like Emerald, Rainsong, McPherson. I think they're fashionable. I think they're a bit political when people are like, my guitar has no wood in it. And you're like, fine, cool, got it. But yeah, not my thing. But if I had to have an opinion, I do have an opinion. Yeah, okay, I've seen this. People talking about, like, you put a capo on and you can, like, push strings behind the nut or move. But it's still, my only real trick is get a Polytune tuner and put it on there, and then the wiggle trick works better. But when you have an individual tuner, it still takes just as long to do that as it does to actually tune with the tuners themselves. New reimagined D28 versus many years prior. Thoughts? Obviously not comparing Brazilian rosewood to East Indian. Oh, no, the new reimagined D28s are the best a standard D28 has ever been. Like, there is not even close. Because you get, like, the narrow nut width, the big, heavier tuners, the no aging toner on the top of the guitar. There's just a whole bunch of factors. Yeah. They're just all around better. All right, I got a booger. Boogie. Got to boogie. Let's see. Collings, traditional parlor is excellent. A couple years ago I had a 00, okay. Parlors are single O's and smaller. Like, it's my soapbox. A 00 is not a parlor. Kills me. Bourgeois Touchstone series. Really no different than an Eastman. No, they're definitely better. There's a noticeable step up from, I had a Bourgeois Touchstone that Rich Weinstock bought right around, or we traded. Is that what we did? Somehow, we did some kind of horse trading. But it's absolutely better than an Eastman E20. Eastman E20 is fun. It's a good guitar. But maybe those, if you just blasted them with a Dr. Herringbone, with a Tone Traveler, whatever that thing's called, maybe if you just blasted it for like 6 months and just put like years of like play on it, it would open up. But yeah. Real tortoiseshell picks. I've never held one. I would never support harvesting a new one. No. I don't think there hasn't been a new one in so long. I have to believe. Because it is so illegal to kill a sea tortoise. So most of the, like, they're fine. They do wear down, and then you have to be able to have the skills and the tools to hone the edge again. And at this point, there's so many that are good. They used to be a thing. I used to sell them for, I never sold them because this is recorded. I never sold them. How would that be the same? Would that be the same? Yes. Yeah. Yes, it would be. All right, I gotta go. It wouldn't let me do a closing screen, so you're just gonna see me sitting here for a minute. But that's the end. That's all I got. Please go buy t-shirts, like, subscribe this video. Check out my buyer's guide, which don't buy the buyer's guide. I need to rework it. But I also need to have like 3 days to write and think and rework that thing. Also check out Write Guitars Faster if you have not. It's a really helpful tool to own badass guitars. And yeah, so thanks everybody. Hey, it's you ever played a Cole Clark from Australia? If not, then please don't waste your time. I like them. I like them probably more than Maitons. They're cooler. I do. They all look strange with the satin finishes, and they all look like they're made of plywood. Whoops. All right. Anyway, this was a really fun conversation. Lots of people on the chat. Make sure you like, subscribe. 88% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed. We've gained 1%. So subscribe, like the channel, and watch all my videos. And tell your guitar playing friends to watch my videos. Buy shirts, buy hats. Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We're doing this song.
When it gets hard, maybe I know where you are. Even in the darkest dark, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I feel the blood running through my veins. Got so zoomed out, it's all in frame. I never want to let you get away without knowing I loved you all the same. Can you feel the chills running through your arms? Don't tell me there's nothing more to this. Oh, now I want you to look at me. Don't really look at me. When it gets hard, maybe I know where you are. Even in the darkest dark, I'm there with you. When it gets hard, maybe I know where you are. Even in the darkest dark, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Self into two halves, one watching while the other one reacts. You can play any part you like. Tell me who you wanna be tonight. Close your eyes and take a breath away. Beat, open up and let it out and look at me. Don't really look at me.
So what, there's 82 of you left here? Rasmus wanted me to play his guitar. Can't believe you guys let me say his name like an idiot for like 2 years. There's a thumpy. Ah, come on. I do this. What do I play? Man, this guitar's so good. My playing is terrible these days. Hey-oh, yeah, Kelly loves his EJ16. I mean, that's an E16 for guitar, but... let's see. Let's see, Austin says, this is my last question I'm answering, sorry. 2021 D18 reimagined, $21 or $2,000 without a case, goodbye? No. Why does it not have a case? Not a case means probably damaged or maybe stolen, so I'd be very careful. Oh, man. Thank you, Alan. Hang on. This guitar is so freaking good. What case does it come with that would justify $500 used? That's crazy. Even if it's a Colton or one of those like knockoffs. Anyway, I gotta go. All right, bye everybody. I gotta get back to the shop. It's a busy day. Bye everyone. Love you all. Go fill the world with music and friendship. Bye.